Julius was born, Lily was the best big sister in the world. She gave him things, she told him secrets, and she sang lullabies to him every night. After Julius was born, it was a different story. Lily took her things back. She pinched his tail, and she yelled insulting comments into his crib. But her parents loved him. They kissed his wet pink nose, they admired his small black eyes, and they stroked his sweet white fur. Lily thought his wet pink nose was slimy. She thought his small black eyes were beady, and she thought his sweet white fur was not so sweet, especially when he needed his diaper changed. Julius is the baby of the world, chimed Lily's parents. Disgusting, said Lily. Lily had to share her room with Julius. After Julius goes away, do I get my room back? She asked. Julius isn't going anywhere, said Lily's mother, and he didn't. He stayed and stayed and stayed. Lily was supposed to be very quiet while Julius slept. After Julius goes away, can I talk like a normal person again, she shouted. Julius isn't going anywhere, said Lily's father, and he didn't. He stayed and stayed and stayed. Does anyone have a little sibling at home? Me. Yeah? Can you relate to the story? Yes. We want Julius to grow up to be as extraordinary as you, said Lily's mother, so we must tell him constantly that he is beautiful and how much we love him. When no one was looking, Lily had her own idea. What do you think she was doing? Nothing?
Yes, she was saying like bad words and like you ugly.
I think so. I think Dante's right. We want Julius to grow up to be as clever as you, said Lily's father, so we must sing him numbers and letters whenever possible. When no one was looking, Lily had her own idea. Lily's parents were more than a bit doubtful about leaving the two of them alone together. Lily tried to frighten Julius with her nifty disguises. She learned magic and tried to make him disappear. When that didn't work, she simply pretended that he didn't exist. Lily spent more time than usual in the uncooperative chair. Does everyone know what the uncooperative chair is?
No. I think so.
Yes.
Like you swing it.
Like,
Regatta?
chair as
A time-out chair.
Very good. Yep, it's like a timeout chair.
Oh.
Lily's parents showered her with hugs and kisses and treats of all shapes and sizes. She even let her stay up 15 minutes later every night. It didn't matter. Nothing worked. I am the queen, said Lily, and I hate Julius. But her parents loved him. They kissed his wet pink nose, they admired his small black eyes, and they stroked his sweet white fur. Julius is the baby of the world, chimed Lily's parents. Disgusting, said Lily. Lily's parents were amused when Julius blew a bubble. Can you believe it, they exclaimed. But if Lily did the exact same thing, they said, Lily, let's mind our manners, please. Lily's parents were dazzled when Julius babbled and gurgled. Such a vocabulary, they exclaimed. But if Lily did the exact same thing, they said, Lily, let's act our age, please. Lily's parents were amazed when Julius screamed, what lung capacity, they said. But if Lily did the exact same thing, they said, Lily, let's restrain ourselves, please. One morning, while Lily was busy playing opera, her mother said, why don't you put some of that verbal exuberance to good use? Why don't you tell Julius a nice story? He's too little to understand a Julius, the germ of the world, by me, said Lily. Once upon a time, said Lily, there was a baby. His name was Julius. Julius was really a germ. Julius was like dust under your bed. If he was a number, he would be 0. If he was a food, he would be a raisin. 0 is nothing, a raisin tastes like dirt. The end, said Lily. The story earned her 10 minutes in the uncooperative chair. Lily warned her friends Chester and Wilson and Victor about babies. Trust me, they're dreadful, she said. She warned strangers about babies too. You will live to regret that bump under your dress, she said. Lily ran away 7 times in one morning. I'm really leaving this time, she said. Who knows where they'll find me? That same afternoon, Lily had a tea party, and everyone came. Everyone but Julius. His invitation must have been lost in the mail, she explained. Lily had glorious dreams about Julius, and ghastly nightmares too. It's not so glorious, is it? Oh. Lily's parents showered her with compliments and praise and niceties of all shapes and sizes. They even let her drink her juice out of the antique china cup. It didn't matter. Nothing worked. I am the queen, said Lily, and I hate Julius. But her parents loved him. They kissed his wet pink nose. They admired his small black eyes, and they stroked his sweet white fur. Julius is the baby of the world, chimed Lily's parents. Disgusting, said Lily. When Lily's mother felt up to it, she planned a festive celebration in honor of Julius. All the relatives came. There was quite a spread. What's the big deal, said Lily. Haven't they all seen a silly lump before? Apparently not. All afternoon, the relatives hovered over Julius. They kissed his wet pink nose, they admired his small black eyes, and they stroked his sweet white fur. Disgusting, said Cousin Garland. What? Said Lily. Julius, said Cousin Garland. I think his wet pink nose is slimy. I think his small black eyes are beady. And I think his sweet white fur is not so sweet. He needs his diaper changed. Lily's nose twitched. Her eyes narrowed. Her fur stood on end, and her tail quivered. You're talking about my brother, said Lily. And for your information, his nose is shiny. And his eyes are sparkly. And his fur smells like perfume. Cousin Garland was speechless. He can blow bubbles, continued Lily. He can babble and gurgle, and he can scream better than anyone. Cousin Garland tried to slink out of the room. Stop, said Lily. I am the queen. Watch me closely. Lily picked up Julius. She kissed his wet pink nose. She admired his small black eyes, and she stroked his sweet white fur. Your turn, said Lily, handing Julius over to Cousin Garland. Kiss, admire, stroke, Lily commanded. Now repeat after me, said Lily. Julius is the baby of the world. Julius is the baby of the world, said Cousin Garland. Louder, said Lily. Julius is the baby of the world. And from then on, he was, in everyone's opinion, especially Lily's. Now, can you guys tell me, why do you think Lily got so upset? Jada?
Because her
Yeah. That's okay. Daviana? That's right. London?
Because her cousin kept on talking about her brother.
Very good. She didn't like that, did she? Oh, very good, guys. Thanks for listening. Dante, do you have something to share? Let's hear.
I'll tell you the story.
Okay, let's hear.
That she wanted attention.
Very good. She did want attention. Was she a little jealous?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so. Have you guys ever felt that way before?
Yes.
Never?
Nope.
Malachi?
The main reason why Millie was mad at Julius because she didn't want to show a room with nobody.
That's a good point.